At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat, so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to this special presentation of Stony Brook Seawolves hockey, live from the rinks on Long Island and streaming live on LI Sports Network. It's another pivotal showdown between two longtime rivals as the Seawolves return to the island as they take on the Delaware Blue Hens. Mike Calandra back and ready to bring you the action alongside my great pal of mine, Trevor Magnani. And Trevor, we had a week, actually a couple of weeks to step back, reflect on how the season's gone since the last time these two teams played. And here we are, ready to get it going once again.
Absolutely. We want to take a quick spin through the national rankings first to kind of set the table here for the Seawolves. I might not have said it on the broadcast, I might have said it on the broadcast, but the Seawolves definitely a little bit underrated on the coaches' polls, and that showed on the first computer ranking that dropped. And Stony Brook shoots up to number 20 in the national ranking. Delaware not on the national ranking board as of right now, and with last night's victory against the Blue Hens, the Seawolves are in prime position to further shoot themselves up the national ranking to catch up to division rival Pittsburgh, who sits up at 15.
And for the Seawolves, they have all the artillery in their power to keep on climbing the ladder in the national rankings with names you'll see on the ice tonight, like Paul Tesaro, who comes into this matchup with 11 assists, a team-high 14 points through
It's 11 goals.
11 goals, actually. Never mind. I'm getting...
You got the stat numbers mixed up. You're using my sheet tonight.
11 goals through 14 games played. Just incredible
through 10
numbers.
Games played.
Through 10 games played. I am all over the place now.
Let me go through the stats on that one. That's 11 goals, 3 assists for 14 points in 10 games. That's scoring at a clip of more than a goal per game. And as much as that didn't help them against their bout against Liberty University a couple weeks back, where they dropped 2 down in Lynchburg to that high-power offense, and honestly a team that could be in the conversation for top 4, if not national champions. They were able to bounce back against Rhode Island in 2 victories, 7-5 and 5-2. But for the Seawolves, it's going to come down to getting contributions from across the roster. Obviously, you've got Paul Tesaro leading the Seawolves in the goals department, but that's not to say they're not getting contributions elsewhere. William Kermanek, who's been the setup guy for the Seawolves with 12 assists this season and 4 goals on his own across the 10 games that the Seawolves have played, looked for him tonight to be the setup guy again. And Anthony Vernillo with 6 assists this season and 2 goals to tally on for himself with 8 total points across the Seawolves season so far. And then back on the defensive side of the equation here, I think you're going to know who I'm going to be talking about here. It's none other than Kyle Nestepny with 2 goals and an assist this season. Looking for him to be big on the point tonight for the Seawolves and maybe add some contributions. But let's flip it on over to the Delaware side of the ice here and talk about some of the firepower going on over there. And you got to forgive me when I do this here. We've got a couple 6-7s here, and I'm going to see my way out. But speaking of 6-7,
I was already walking away as soon as that came to your mind.
Leighton Bisadecki, 6 goals, 7 assists, and Tanner Mahoney with 6 goals and 7 assists, and not quite a 6-7. But Mason Moore with 6 goals and 5 assists lead the scoring firepower here for the Blue Hens. But not to be outdone, Thomas Weeks on the D-line with 5 goals and 5 assists. With a power play goal on his tally for the season, looks to be a threat. But the real threat on the power play here for the Blue Hens is going to come from Tanner Mahoney, who's got 4 of them this season.
Some big numbers right there for the veteran forward for the Blue Hens tonight. They'll be taking aim at 1. Stephen Reganato will play a big role in between the pipes as always, whereas for Delaware, it has to be questioned whether the starting nod will go to Jacob Snellenberg, who comes in with a record of 5-3, or they'll give it to Tyler Roselle, who had his fair share of moments against the Seawolves the last time these two teams went head-to-head, in which you alluded to. Stony Brook taking that one 6-3 with a great performance by the offense powered from Paul DeZaro and company. We got a minute and a half of warm-up time on our hands. And one thing that we should point out, the Blue Hens donning different colors for the evening. As you see the Seawolves wearing their traditional red uniforms that were introduced last season as a part of their 50th anniversary celebration. Whereas the Blue Hens not looking too blue here tonight, besides the pads and the blue helmets, as they are donning the purple and black jerseys for a great cause here. And we have more on that. It's called the Be Positive Foundation, and just another great cause with these teams, all these organizations contributing in so many ways for so many great causes. We saw the Stony Brook Seawolves a couple weeks back for Alzheimer's Night back at Dix Hills Ice Rink. Here's Delaware providing their own fair share of goodwill here on the island. And they'll look to try to provide those watching here tonight a big victory on the road here.
Yeah, definitely want to talk a little bit about the Be Positive Foundation here. The Andrew McDonough Be Positive Foundation honors the life of Andrew McDonough. Andrew battled leukemia, septic shock, and complications of childhood cancer for 167 days before passing away on July 14th, 2007 at the age of 14. Andrew's B-plus blood type became his family and friends' motto throughout his fight against childhood cancer to be positive. The B-Plus Foundation is about kids helping kids fight cancer, raising money through events on college campuses like Wolfie-thon to provide financial and emotional support to families of children with cancer nationwide and fund critical, cutting-edge childhood cancer research. Wolfie-thon is the largest student-run philanthropy here at Stony Brook and has raised over $260,000 for the Be Positive Foundation in the past 5 years. There are hundreds of Stony Brook students who have decided to work together to fight childhood cancer while in college. There are also Be Positive Heroes, which are children battling cancer paired with organizations on Stony Brook's campus. And I've heard we might have some Be Positive Heroes here tonight here. Johnny and Tenzin have been paired with Stony Brook University.
And I did see a few, if I would assume, of those heroes that were on the bench watching during warm-ups. And as you alluded to, you have to wonder if there will be a special moment before the puck gets dropped here tonight.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a fun one here tonight. Here last night, 6-3 victory here down in Delaware. Get on the bus and come back up to New York here to play another game. Big fan of the home and home series that we've been seeing here. And whether it's by way of the necessity of cutting some hotel costs or something else, I'm here for it. It's more exciting. You get to have that real back and forth rivalry, especially when the teams are only a couple hours away.
Not to mention, too, you make a great point. This is the third meeting between these two teams here. Fourth altogether, but third here at on the islands here at the rinks. And it's rather unusual. You have those type of early abundance of meetings in the early moments of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to get ourselves a quick breather here. I know you had a rush to get into the rink tonight. We're going to get ourselves prepared for puck drop here. We've got Mary Peck here down at ice level here for the national anthem. And after that, it's go time here at the rinks for the Delaware Blue Hens and the Stony Brook Seawolves. We hope you stick with us here live here at the rinks on none other than Long Island Sports Network.
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And we welcome you back to the rinks on Long Island, ladies and gentlemen. The referees have made their way onto the ice for an early skate before the two teams make their entrances. The Seawolves coming in hot, looking to sweep the weekend after taking one against Delaware last night. Here they are this evening looking to win another one big at home as they pursue the top spots in the national rankings. And we had a great chat off the air about the national rankings. One team that really caught us by surprise, UNLV, dropping like flies.
Dropping like a rock almost would be more appropriate, as they went from 1 to 8 on the first computer ranking. And sometimes the coaches have it, sometimes the computer thinks differently. And this is a case where computer did not think well of them. Another team that they didn't think well of was Grand Canyon, who dropped 8 places down to 19.
So we'll see if Stony Brook has something up their sleeves to get a big win here that will affect their position in the rankings. And depending how this one goes, I would hope to say that there'll be some positive energy going forward for the Seawolves.
Especially on Be Positive night. We didn't really get a chance to really talk about the jerseys that the Blue Hens are wearing tonight. We know we briefly mentioned it during the warm-up, but they're going to be wearing some special third jerseys tonight with Be Positive on the shoulder. With, I believe their Be Positive hero on the back, Aiden.
I'm wearing the special purple jerseys. It reminds me from a couple seasons ago when Niagara University wore a special uniform for the majority of the season. And there was a very endearing story behind that as the Seawolves make a rampant entrance onto the ice. And the Blue Hens, who cannot be seen at the moment with the lights practically all the way in the dark. And now we get some lighting here. And soon everything will come up as...
Oh, there they are.
The Seawolves and the Blue Hens will gather around their benches. We'll meet the starting lineups for each squad. And there you see on this special evening for the Be Positive Foundation, some special guests have gathered alongside some of the Seawolves players on the bench. And we get a good shot of that. And some amazing memories for those.
University of Delaware versus Stony Brook Seawolves.
For those here tonight.
Number 3, Daniel Bird. Number 17, Andrew Lowe. Number 26, Luke Manifesto. Number 37, Cody Diaz. Number 77, Liam Dodd. And in goal, number 30, Tyler Roselle. And here's your Stony Brook Seawolves! On defense, number 8, Charles Warrior. His defensive partner, number 24, Dylan Kowalski. The left winger, number 17, Peter. The center, number 76, William Dominic. The right winger, number 91, Paul Pizarro. And in goal, number 29, Stephen Regalado. At this time, we ask everyone to rise for the singing of our national anthem, which will be performed by Mary Pack.
Oh, say
As always, a wonderful rendition of the national anthem from the great Miss Mary Peck. And here's an interesting tidbit. Her son, former Stony Brook Seawolf, you know him, Chuck Peck, is celebrating his 29th birthday today. So if you're out there watching or celebrating, happy birthday. And now we have a special ceremony taking shape here for the Be Positive Foundation.
Raising money through events on college campuses like Wolfenstein to provide financial and emotional support to families of children with cancer nationwide and fund critical cutting-edge childhood cancer research. Tonight, we are joined by two special guests, Tenzin and Johnny.
A fantastic ceremonial puck drop and a memory that will never be forgotten for those two young fans as Cody Diaz and William Cormanick shake hands and will now congregate in front of their respective benches.
Johnny is 10 years old. He was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia in December of 2017. Johnny loves to play music, and when he grows up, he wants to go into STEM related. Please join us in giving Tenzin to Johnny a huge welcome.
And stick taps for a special cause here tonight at the rinks. And after a beautiful ceremony in which we honored the Be Positive Foundation members that are here tonight, we will get our matchup underway. We saw great sportsmanship being shown by the two captains, Cody Diaz and William Cormanick. And now
it's time to get serious.
Exactly. You know what time it is. The Seawolves know what time it is. The Blue Hens know what time it is. And these crazy fans that have gathered here tonight know exactly what time it is. It's time to play some hockey. And the Blue Hens feeling the wrath early on the hit by Charles Poirier. That time was got. And Poirier lofts it out safely. Can't get it onto the stick of DeZaro, who looking to continue his explosive goal-scoring trend here tonight as Berg wheels it around the wall. Stony Brook trying to clear it out, or no, I should say Delaware trying to clear it out. Spinning chance missing for Labos. Couldn't get it on the net that time as Diaz and Delaware try to navigate the other way. Nice feed ahead. Here's Berg, stretches it back, gives it across, near give and go perfection that time for the Blue Hens. The Seawolves back on top of the possession here. Kowalski feathers it across. Labos, that skipped past his stick, and it allows Delaware to regain zone entry. Poirier curls away from pressure. Kowalski now flips it, and it's caught by Labos, who tried to knife it out safely. Instead, it's kept alive by the Blue Hens' Mason Moore. This one is sent back to the point as the perimeter opens up for Delaware, trying to strike in the early moments of this contest.
Well, Delaware's got a lot to prove tonight there after falling to the Seawolves last night, 6-3 in Delaware on home ice.
Tanner Mahoney couldn't get it back over. Delaware keeping it in the zone, but a chance missing over the net, that time from the stick of Keller.
I think Reginado got a shoulder on that one.
He certainly did. A big save registered for him in the early going of this matchup as Nakagawa, his first shift of the night, begins with a touch. And now the Seawolves trying to create a statement here in the early get-go. Vernillo fighting ahead. He's shoved to the ice. Physicality starting to awaken here as Anastasio drops it in the corner. This one gets played back to the point. Haskins walking the line, got a shot off, and that was stopped away that time by Roselle, aiming to pick up his second win of the season. Seawolves aiming to score early, And Wenrick not able to keep it in the zone there. He sends it right back in. That's going to allow Stony Brook to bring out new reinforcements to the battle. Anastasio off the ice. On comes DiNapoli. And this will be stretched all the way down for icing. And there's RJ Sember making his home ice debut for the Seawolves.
Seawolves here out to a quick shots on goal lead here with some good pressure on that last shift. And hoping to build on that here is Sember, as you mentioned, making his home ice debut. Try to load the cannon here.
The Center Reach New York product taking the draw here. DiNapoli spun it back to the point, but it couldn't be kept alive by Valenti, as this will be played back by Delaware. If they have some room to escape ahead, which they do. This one is angled forward, but the clean connection couldn't be made that time for the Blue Hens, leading to an icing as the face-off draw will go back in the Blue Hens zone.
Seals will get a fresh set of line mates out there as they'll face it off to the left of the Delaware netminder.
Thomas Weeks, as you alluded to at the top of the broadcast, looking to make an impact here tonight, leading all defensemen in points with 10 on the team, as Trezera trying to get his licks for the Seawolves. Labos, that one turned in front, but couldn't be stuffed by Cormatic, as this is wheeled out once again. Blue Hens escaping forward. Trezera trying to mitigate the pressure being given to the Seawolves. Here is Delaware keeping it in the zone. And Warner. Warner had trouble controlling the possession. And jousting ensues between both squads. Labos, Cormatic having trouble navigating the possession there. Cormatic entangled with one of the Blue Hens. That was Infanger, as this gets propelled deep into the zone. No icing here. Line change commences for the Seawolves. Berg handling it. And the Blue Hens back into enemy territory. Backhander stopped by Reginato. And shots even apiece at 2. This one gets wheeled back behind. Poirier trying to escape out of harm's way. Diaz holding up his man against the boards. That's Kowalski. Now we see Poirier trying to switch gears, putting on the brakes, creating space. Poirier trying to make some magic. Nakagawa floats it across. Seawolves progressing forward. Here's Mara. Lorenzo Mara with a puck on the string. Gives it back to Poirier. Poirier with a nice head fake there. It allowed him to get a chance, and he goes off to the bench. Meanwhile, Hyde pursuing the possession as he hunts down his man. Seawolves got it back. Mara couldn't get a clean shot off that time. And the Blue Hens having trouble executing the other ways. Wenrick was there at the right place at the right time. Mara entangled. Nakagawa had trouble progressing forward. And the Blue Hens trying to take a hold of the opportunity. That's if they didn't go off sides.
But they did, and we'll face it off just outside the Seawolves zone here with 14:39 to go here in the first period of Be Positive night here at the rinks.
One thing you got to look at in a positive light is Reginato had a few stops to kick off this campaign so far here. And we can only imagine that number is going to grow imminently as this game progresses on throughout the evening. Malik entangled, and we get another whistle.
A high stick here.
Face-off draw will move to a new location. Christian Malik looking to...
trying to barter with the official on this one.
And Christian Malik will remain put on the ice. 9th appearance this season for the Seawolves. The Long Island City native trying to bring his 5'10", 170 stature to the fray here tonight and make an early impact, perhaps. He streaks in against his man, almost connected in front with Vernillo. And Vernillo and Anastasio looking to generate some energy there. There's Malik. Had the opportunity, but it was squandered by a stick in front provided by one of the Blue Hens. And if I had to take a guess who that was Jack Keller, a great defensive specialist for Delaware. And that chance swallowed up by Regalado as Mahoney's opportunity squabbled by Regalado.
And so far, Stony Brook able to keep the Delaware chances far into the outside. Nothing too dangerous coming in to the slot area for the Blue Hens.
Change the bolts. Coral Springs, Florida native. Trying to turn up the heat here in enemy territory. A cool, brisk day here on the island as the Blue Hens get another chance that's swallowed up by Regalado. And had some difficulty right there as it came off a deflecting stick. 4 shots apiece. RJ Sember ready to act again on this draw as Valenti able to clear the zone. Hudson DiNapoli switching gears, trying to burst forward, spins it back to Sember! And he was denied miraculously by Roselle. RJ will have to wait for his first goal of the season. And Sember continuing on the ice as this one gets banked and it's gonna roll down for icing. And Delaware catches a big break here, not only with the icing, but that stop made by Tyler Roselle on Sember.
Yeah, Roselle came up big there, just got his body in front of it. Created a juicy rebound, but no Seawolf to follow it up, so it's harmlessly knocked away.
And give credit to DiNapoli. He knew that things were starting to lose control for him. Acted on the spot. Nice turnaround, spinning pass. Found Sember in the right spot. Roselle, though, better in that sequence. Now the Blue Hens trying to get one to go. And Regalado able to collect another save. Valenti had to collect his stick as it escaped from his hands. And there's Sember working his way out of the box. And he's off to the bench as Legretz steers it back into enemy territory. This will bring back Cormanic onto the playing surface. Blue Hens sending this one deep in the zone. Kowalski had trouble there, and it gave Delaware a quick chance. Regalado was ready for his. Poirier feeds it forward. Here come the Seawolves. Huevos couldn't finish the job there. Poirier still working at it. Peter Huevos finds DeZaro. DeZaro has all sorts of company, both playing aside him and defending against him. And here's Keller evading Cormanic for now. Couldn't get by DeZaro as that one is played forward. Kowalski. Now there's Cormanic back in the fray. But the Blue Hens charge in. Not able to finish off the job that time was Gott. That was Andrew Lowe. And now there's the other 17, Huevos. DeZaro has spiked it back the other way and head off for a line change. This brings back Vernillo and Anastasio. And that man Malik, who had his opportunity a few minutes back, squandered up by Roselle as the Seawolves trying to find a way here to break the deadlock score. Turnover, commanded chance in tight. Stopped by Regalado on low.
Regalado, the first real challenge of the night for him, comes up big to keep this one knotted at 0.
Goalies in the spotlight for the time being as they have showed out so far. Nothing coming from either offense just yet. Handful of chances, though, that will certainly stir the pots here for both sides. Stick work being done. Nice play. But Seawolves able to be on that one. Haskins floats it up ahead. Couldn't connect there with Hyde. Ara trying to find it, and Nakagawa's going to spin it back in front. That one took a rather spontaneous bounce, catching Roselle by surprise. Meanwhile, the Blue Hens, Weeks, angles it forward, connecting with Moore. Mason Moore drops in the trailer. Mahoney trying to make something happen here. Chance, save, rebound, double to Niles. Unbelievable. Reganado.
Coming up absolutely big there in those two opportunities.
Got the left leg out just at the right time. As this is cleared out of harm's way.
And it won't go for icing.
And Hyde's going to finish off the check there for good measure. And that goes out of play.
Dangerous situation here for the Seawolves at the midpoint here of the first period as Delaware comes up with some quality scoring opportunities. And fortunately, Reganado coming up strong in the defense, getting the Seawolves out of the way here.
This is where Reganado's got to be hoping for his team to capitalize on his behalf. He can't keep making all these saves and get no results from his team. This is the time to make a big moment happen. Seawolves have come close. Had a few chances, and there's Charles Poirier putting on the dance moves. It's Saturday Night Fever for number 8 on the Seawolves as Stony Brook gets a chance. Score! A rocket upstairs by Kowalski. 1-0 Seawolves.
The Seawolves come up big there on a great opportunity there, and Kowalski just puts it home.
Second of the year for the veteran defenseman who started off the year on what we call the disabled list or the injured list. Missed opening weekend, but here he is making noise here tonight on B Positive Foundation nights here at the rinks. And that tremendous executed play was started up by no other than Charles Poirier.
Poirier knocks himself another assist, and Kowalski knocks another goal on the stat sheet for his year.
Response there, put to bed that time by Reganado. And Poirier taking the task. Left out in front, but Seawolves came covering against Imfanger. Labos turning up the juice. Forced wide there. And this one cleared out. Seawolves couldn't keep it in the zone. Wenrick has to race back to collect. Instead, it will be handled by the back end. Cormanic drops it across. The finish couldn't be made by Labos that time. And the Seawolves almost made it 2-0 there. In tight to Zarro. And he is salivating for yet another goal. This one is cleared forward by Coughlin.
Takes a strange bounce and bounces out in front.
Reganado had to push it out of harm's way as Wenrick floats it out safely. Blue Hens going to create a resurgence here. Look at that chance, but it didn't go for the streaking Gott. And he got that time. Chance erupting from the young fans in attendance here tonight at the rinks. As the Seawolves trying to feed off that energy and maybe create a 2-goal cushion here. They came close on that opportunity by DeZarro, and that opportunity swallowed up by Roselle. And you'll definitely see plenty of that, the schmozzles, as the Seawolves and Delaware Blue Hens, no strangers to each other whatsoever. Dylan Kowalski returning to the ice after collecting the goal. Anastasio had the perfect shot in sight, but airmailed it. Poirier keeping it in the zone for now. Blue Hens able to force their way out. Here's more. Berg pressured against him as Malik trying to create something here to clear the zone. Anastasio had a poke on that one. Poirier trying to curl away from danger. Bernillo. Chance in front, and Raganato was ready for it. He collects another save as Anastasio is going to pursue the possession here. Delaware finding themselves with a target on their back as they trail 1-0. Seawolves eager to put home another goal in any way they possibly can. As Anastasio played it back to Haskins. Wenrick and Haskins on the defense here tonight as Haskins floats it forward. Found by Nakagawa with a chance, missing. May have gotten a piece of Rosell. And that one certainly did get a piece of Rosell, and that one did too. He gets 2 saves, and the whistle sounds just at the right time.
And Rosell definitely having to face a lot more high-quality shots from the Seawolves as time progresses here in the first period, as the Seawolves get their engine going.
And Mara is going to put more fuel to the car as they try to continue to ride on this wave of momentum. Here we go. Centering feed. Oh, a big chance denied by Rosell. Nakagawa had upstairs written all over him, but Rosell said no.
You can tell they're trying to pick one of those corners there, try to attack the glove side of Rosell. And after the goal went in, it seems like Rosell's been a lot more confident on that side and denying the Seawolves anytime they go up there.
And you know the Seawolves, if they know that Rosell is adjusting well to that side, they're going to try to change things up and try to go low side.
Well, we'll see what they do. Hockey's a funny game.
Oh, yes. There's Keller. Bam! No funny game there as Nakagawa belted Jack into the boards that time.
Well, the checking is certainly getting rolling here as well, as Delaware was throwing some big checks in the last shift. Stony Brook reciprocating.
Robert Hyde put to a stop there. Rosell will collect the save, but a lot of the work done by the defense to mitigate that opportunity.
Creative maneuvers there on the defensive side there to tie up the stick and make sure that Rosell is able to get his hand on the puck.
Here's Cormatic back to step in on the face-off draw. As this one is shoveled to the other side. Delaware having trouble clearing the zone, but they do get it back quickly. Hunger in their eyes. Gotts couldn't feed it over in time. As the captain, Cormatic, tries to clear this one out of harm's way. Valenti having trouble with the bouncing puck. One player fell down there. That was Gott. Him and Cormatic still mixing it up behind the play. Meanwhile, Trezera near the blue line. Lost it there, and we get it offsides. And as you said before, temperature's starting to rise little by little here.
I will say I appreciate the no call over there as the players are kind of tangled up there. Keep the play moving. The players aren't really trying to do something. They're just trying to get themselves untangled.
Oh, yeah. Here's Valenti. Couldn't connect there with either Desara or Labos, and it goes for icing instead.
They had to be careful on that one. That could have, Labos might have been able to beat that one in a different world.
And now you have a bunch of tired Seawolves on the ice. This not a good position for Stony Brook to be in, as Delaware has a lot of heavy artillery ready to strike. A lot of energy in their arsenal here. Chance from the top, save Reganato. as he continues to be a wall for Stony Brook. Meanwhile, DeZaro feeds it forward. Olevos couldn't get a hold of it. Instead, it's Cormanic. Dances his way through traffic, missing the shot as he came in close with that opportunity. DeZaro in pursuit of the possession. Cormanic helping out. The Blue Hens trying to come up with a plan to maybe tie this thing up. Chance, save Reganado, and he holds on to that with every muscle in his body there.
Again, another shot from the outside there. Reganado is able to see and corral, and Delaware is going to change it up. See if a change of personnel changes their fortunes here.
Chance to bolt. Hope to be lucky here tonight. It's been anything but that for him this season. Robert Hyde, save, rebound! Batted out of the air, but not in the back of the nets.
That one was screaming Sports Center, but couldn't get the word out in time.
Whoa, look at that. For good measure, a heavy hit was thrown by Poirier against his man. As Stony Brook back to reset. As if Delaware gives them the room to do just that, and we know for a fact they're not going to let them go and let their guard down. Poirier still in a battle with Anthony Mule. They've been going at it for this entire shift, at least for this sequence. You had the initial play back in the Seawolves zone on the far board. And then Poirier got knocked down to the ice. So watch out for those two in case there's another installment as this matchup progresses on. Sember flips it forward, try to get his own play to happen. DiNapoli back in the mix with Legret hunting as well. Haskins from the top, blocked in front inadvertently by a skate there. And once again, Delaware having trouble clearing the zone. Seawolves not giving them an inch to escape. And Roselle will hold up.
Now we're down to the last 2 minutes here in this first period, and it has been mostly Stony Brook here this second half of the period.
Mostly Stony Brook in both areas. Reganado playing good in nets. The goal being provided by Kowalski. And they've had plenty of juicy chances to add that to the board as well.
Indeed. We talk about the chances here. Stony Brook with some high-quality scoring opportunities as well.
That chance missing wide for DeZaro. Bam! Wenrick put in the ringer. And DeZaro is going to locate it. Found Labos, but couldn't find the finishing man. That one perhaps may have had goal written all over it. Meanwhile, back in the other zone. And another save collected by Reganado. Another chance steered in front and pushed away. Labos hammered and responds as Delaware keeping it alive. One-timer missing. It took a funny bounce there as Infair gets slammed from behind. That's going to get called against Wenrick.
That's going to be a cross check.
Certainly.
Got the stick up right on the numbers.
For the Seawolves, not what they intended to happen, as they will be facing a Delaware power play for the rest of this period, or
maybe the period plus here. Yeah. Delaware is 7 for 49 this season on the power play, 14.2%. The Seawolves 9 for 35, 75% on the penalty kill.
We'll see if that 75% is enough to stop Delaware here in these final moments of the opening periods. The Blue Hens open up the perimeter. Quick fire wagon feeds, and not what they intended to happen there. Here is Mahoney controlling, gives it back. Things opening up again for the, and Sember really showing what he is made of in his home ice debut. As Mara signaling an audible as he was entangled there, as Delaware trying to get something going in the final moments of this first period. Moore, and another clear made by the Seawolves.
Warner unable to get a stick on that one to prevent it from going down. One last chance here.
3 seconds. Buzzer sounds, and that will be all for 20 minutes of hockey here at the rinks, as Stony Brook leads 1-0, but they will have their hands full for the next, or at least for the first minute and 45 seconds of the seconds, with the penalty kill continuing on.
Indeed, definitely a good period here for the Seawolves. Be positive night. Finding themselves in early penalty trouble here, but the 1-goal lead that they'll take into the first period is going to be exactly what the doctor ordered.
And something we touched on was the fact the goal and where the location was upstairs, the high glove side of Roselle. You have to wonder when another one's gonna bite him, because it seemed like Seawolves are now changing their approach against them. They're shooting more lower at the pads, and those are getting them quality rebounds, but just not able to put it home just yet.
All right, and we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back in about 15 minutes time here for the start of the second period. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and come back right here on Long Island Sportsnet.
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. The Seawolves have returned to the ice, and so have the Delaware Blue Hens. And also, we got a power play of 50 more seconds still left to be played by the Blue Hens, as Stony Brook leads 1-0. They also lead in shots on goal, 16-12, in which has been a fairly goalie-dominated first period, one could say. Absolutely, as we got 20 more minutes, actually 40 more minutes of hockey. And yes, Andrew Mancini, if you would like to use the air raid siren, please crank that thing to 100.
That's out of my wheelhouse.
Some good company here, as always, up with us, watching from above, as they move the air raid siren over here with the abundance of young fans in attendance. It's a wise move. And the Blue Hens trying to pick up a big statement goal early on to get this second period off on the right foot. And it's going to start with Reganato holding the puck with the glove there, as that took a weird carom off the board that time. Chance in front, denied by Reganato. As the Blue Hens continue to create havoc in the zone. Another chance missing for Delaware. Everyone eager to just play on. They'll play no matter what the condition is. Well, I'll retract that statement. Here is DeZaro back on the ice as Stony Brook successfully killing off the first penalty of the evening. And a boisterous crowd on our hand. And that chance missing. Reganato collecting yet another save. This one is knifed forward. Delaware trying to keep it alive in the zone. Instead, it's Poirier pushing ahead with the rest of the cavalry. Poirier forced away from the net there, and he is forced all the way down to the ice. And he is in a little skirmish with one of the Blue Hens. Play continues. Cormatic throws it in front, missing wide. Valensky rushing over to keep it in the zone. Teddy Valensky keeping his guard up, throws it in front, it bounces around, score! And it's 2-0.
That one found its way through the ping-ponging of players and behind the netminder. Roselle not happy about the circumstances on that one, but the defensemen in front of him were unable to clear the Seawolves out in time as they're able to poke that one in.
You use ping pong as the analogy, so one could say that was an Atari-like design that time to get the Seawolves up by 2.
A ping pong, pinball, take your pick. Vulcanized rubber bouncing between surfaces.
And the Seawolves add to their lead as Valenti controls in front. Couldn't connect with the streaking Malik as Delaware have their hands full. And Teddy Valenti picking up his first of the year in game number 10 as Anastasio controls it. Still working behind the goal.
Trying to set up the cycle.
Couldn't stuff it home there. Vernillo. Chance ramping up again as Malik awaiting in the shadows. Belted in the boards by Mahoney. Haskins taking the task as well as Anastasio still mixing it up in front. Shoved his man down and lost this, or that was Malik that lost the stick. I don't know how that happened as Haskins gonna send it forward. Found Nakagawa, dropping in the trailer. Hyde. Robert Hyde feeds it in front. It pinballs once again off a leg there. Negating the chance for the Seawolves as Malik's stick still sits idle beside the nets where Roselle is trying to bounce back on off to the start he wanted to have here tonight. Lead feet ahead. The Blue Hens streaking in, and Regalado closed the door there. Nakagawa interfered, and the Seawolves are going to go to the power play, and this is exactly what Stony Brook wanted to see. They already bested the Blue Hens in one department of special teams, killing off the penalty. Now let's see what they have in store on the power play. The first of the night, brought to you by our good friends at Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates.
Seawolves are 6 for 32 on the power play at 18.75% effectiveness. The Blue Hens 8 for 48.
And Hyde is looking to will the Seawolves to perhaps another goal here. And a good heads-up play that time by Conklin. Very Nestepny-like as he read the spot there and almost took off the other way.
That's why you gotta make those passes quick up there. Otherwise, that pass gets read, you're going the other way.
And Hyde dragged down, play continues. Ooh, an eventful, and I mean eventful start to the power play for the Seawolves as one of the Blue Hens was entangled with Cormatic, and Stony Brook trying to erupt the other way. Hyde. And one takes a ride off the boards, and another clear made by the Blue Hens. Down to a minute of power play time for Stony Brook. Regalado plays it to the near wall. Nakagawa evades. Nakagawa coughs it, well, there was some confusion there by the Seawolves that caused that turnover. And now Poirier is going to try to handle business on his own.
Stony Brook definitely looking a little lost out there on the power play, not able to set anything up.
Vernillo got it back to Haskins. Haskins walking across, gives it back to Vernillo. Vernillo firing, and a big save through a wall of bodies by Roselle with 18 seconds left to go on the power play for Stony Brook.
And Stony Brook, as I said it, was able to figure it out. They realized they were on a power play, and they broke into the zone, created a good scoring opportunity.
You talk about lost and how there was a moment in my eyes where Nakagawa, it looked like he was just, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was waiting for a handoff to hand it off to whoever was on the ice with him, but he was just like gliding across.
It just looked like it was a miscommunication on the ice there, and thought he had somebody and he didn't.
And that will hurt you. Luckily for the Seawolves, no damage was done against them, but
overall a good penalty kill here for the Delaware Blue Hens.
that's what you need to have. You have one big penalty kill, that could generate some momentum as we are back to 5 on 5. The open awning in sight for Anastasio, but he went and elected to go with the slap feed instead. Here's another slapper missing wide, that time off the stick of Poirier. So things awakening for the Seawolves after an uneventful trip to the man advantage. Haskins couldn't clear it forward. And back the other way come the Blue Hens. Good defensive pressure instilled that time by Vernilla. Poirier banks it off the boards. This one is going to, no, icing waved off.
Didn't make it down.
A peculiar occurrence there as Berg throws it in deep. This one takes a ride around the wall. Haskins tried to dump his man in as Delaware attempts to regroup after a solid penalty kill in which they held the Seawolves to less shots than usual on their power plays, as some trouble for the Blue Hens. And Smith is trying to create more havoc, which he did. Anastasio not there in time to continue the momentum. Trezera couldn't take a hold of the possession. More battling ensuing on the ice, and the physicality continuing to reach new levels. To the near wall, Valenti, the game's second goal scorer.
Oh man.
Watch
the backwards launch back into the bench to avoid the 2-men penalty.
A bold strategy.
But it worked.
Infanger. Delaware reassessing the situation, or at least tried to. Hand pass called in the neutral zone, and play is stopped.
8:01 into the second period here. Stony Brook tacks another one on, and they lead 20-16 in the shots on goal department.
And even though they are leading 2-0, the Delaware is hanging around just by indication of those shots on goal, the separation of 4 between the two squads.
It's only a matter of time until they break through, and Stony Brook would be keen to stay strong on the defensive side of the puck.
Blue Hens trying to charge up here in any way possible. That's the magic word you think of. It's the matter of when, not how. When will they execute? When will they attack at the right time?
When is their job? How is ours to describe? As this is a 3-on-1 here for the Seawolves. They hurry.
Cormatic across, save, Roselle. And the rebound came loose, and it pinballed off another skate there, but it couldn't be cleared away by the Blue Hens. Another opportunity, great save by Roselle. Taking cover, but had the glove up there at the right time as the puck goes out of play.
What a sequence there for the Seawolves. Almost turning a 3-on-1 there into the third goal of the evening. But Roselle coming up big with another save.
And once Leon updates the shots on goal, you'll see what I mean. These Blue Hens hanging in tough. When it seemed like the Seawolves were about to run away with stuff, with the momentum, the Blue Hens reeled them right back in. But give credit to these goalies for playing phenomenally tonight. As this one is banked in deep. Got on the receiving end as Reganado collecting yet another save. There is Haskins. Jackson Haskins floats it forward, and that is going to miss everyone and go for icing. It's a well-designed play. The aerial pass, that one just a little too much distance on it. Nakagawa not there to receive it well And the rest of his team will remain put on the ice with the faceoff draw in their zone. Wenrick plays it to the far side. Nakagawa sends it forward, or tried to send it forward. Here is Gott, and Diaz almost completing a big chance there. And Gott still searching for the possession. Here's Mara danced his way free. Here's Hyde, chance in the trailer. Kick save, Roselle. And Nakagawa almost cleaned out Gott. Instead, it's Mara belting his man. Nakagawa, nice play there. He dropped over the Hyde. Robert Hyde, backhander front. Couldn't be finished off by Mara. Rebound, and it came loose for a second before it was quickly covered up by Roselle as another Seawolf fell down in front. He had to assume at the cause of Ryan Warner.
Hyde getting mixing it up a bit now.
The officials immediately step in to defuse the situation. Mara still having words. And we talk about this, it's always a ongoing trend in any capacity. You want to keep your composure. You don't want to give your opponent any type of weaponry to take advantage of. In this case, having strong discipline is going to take you to great places, great heights. Seawolves can't allow to lose that as they lead this game. Here is Delaware cruising back in the zone, and another save, glove high and down by Regalado. Another chance from the top, another block in front. Regalado ready for it. We feet ahead. Anastasio knocked down. Mala coming back in the picture at the right time. Looking to set something up here. Curls back in front. Feeds it down low. Anastasio. The same attempt, the same results. Missing on the slapper.
What a keep.
What a play there. Valenti staying at it as Anastasio pursues the possession. Anastasio lost it there.
Tried
Warner
to turn and shoot, but was unable to get it through there.
Caused the turnover as Delaware puts it right back in where they want it. Vernillo was able to track it down, and he's going to angle it across. Anastasio wasn't ready for the possession, and he's off to the bench, back on the ice. The hard-charging Nate Legret. You know he is going to make an impact in every capacity. But that's if the Blue Hens have nothing to do with it. Traffic building up in front, save. Regalado and Legret and Smith connecting. Cooper Smith slamming on the brakes, forced into the boards. Legret bangs against the wall there. Still playing bully ball on the ice. Or I should say bully puck. As Cooper Smith barrels in and throws the check. DiNapoli couldn't get the possession as it went out of play.
Just going off the protective padding between the Seawolves bench and penalty box.
7.5 remaining. Roselle replenishing his fluids as the Blue Hens have yet to figure out to get one past Regalado.
Well, they haven't solved the Regalado puzzle just yet. They've been getting their good looks. Eventually, one of them's going to go.
Chance in front! It was right there, awaiting the stick of DeZaro, but good defensive play by the Blue Hens, positioning to deny that chance. This one is angled forward. And Infinger still pursuing the possession. Seawolves battling hard. William Cormanic
Oh,
will it be a penalty shot?
Yes, it will.
One of the most exciting occurrences in hockey.
When the ref throws his arms over his head in an X formation, you know it's on.
There have been a handful of penalty shots and we've seen the Seawolves take part of in the last couple of seasons. One being Justin Nakagawa, almost scored a few. We'll see how the captain does in this moment here. Unfortunately, the ACHA website does not have statistics on penalty shot goals. So we do not have a historical reading on William Cormanek in this type of situation. But if there's one thing about the captain is he's ready for any type of moment, and this is something that he is going to take hold of here. Tyler Rozelle has been mighty. Tyler Rozelle has been mighty good in nets here tonight, despite giving up 2 goals. William Cormanek hungry for another goal. And here he comes in on Rozelle. The captain stopped miraculously by Tyler Rozelle. He slid across, lifted the pad up, and it ricocheted the puck out of the playing surface.
A big save there from Rozelle, keeps this one within 2, and still a wide open game here for the Blue Hens to come back.
And now the question for the Seawolves, or for both teams, how is that one gonna go? Is this the momentum changer that can drive Delaware forward?
We'll see.
Bam! Cormanek. Just not the right seat, not the shift he wanted to have. Penalty shot misfire and a Steven end on that check as here's Weeks hopping back into the action. And the other number 8, Charles Poirier, 1 point under his belt tonight. The assist on the goal by Kowalski back in the first. And this one skips past everyone, goes into the end boards, no icing. Warner gave it up to Cormanek. He is stopped in tight. Rebound, still loose. Score! The captain finds a way. And it's 3-0 Seawolves.
Cormanek will not be denied. And a thank you very much on his way to the bench as Cormanek puts the Seawolves up 3-0 on what was that, 3 opportunities at the net?
Oh my gosh. So many chances, and seems like Rozelle and Delaware was going to survive that sequence. Seawolves not giving up the fight, and Cormanek, as you said, 3 times a charm. 3-0 Stony Brook.
And that's just 3 in that sequence. Hopefully the rest of his season doesn't end up like that.
Nakagawa tried to play it forward. And here is Gott trying to search for the possession. Plenty of time. Oh no, my goodness! Score! Robert Hyde! How do you do? A crucial error on the part of Tyler Rozelle, and it's back-to-back within mere seconds.
Gonna have to roll the clock back on that one to see how fast that goal came, but Leon couldn't even get the goal call out over the public address. And I think we're gonna get, we are gonna get the timeout here from Delaware to see if they can get the wheels back on the wagon.
And you have to wonder if there is going to be a goalie change from Todd Mittelmeyer.
It's a big decision here. You're down. It's 4-0 now. You're the tail end of the second period. Maybe you do it to just shake the team up a bit, try to get them to play a little bit stronger in front of the goaltender. But the tough situation. You let up 2 goals back to back within a few seconds of each other. Now, while we have this timeout here, I'm actually going to roll back the footage to see if we can get what that delta was on the goal here.
If my observation is correct, it looks like Legret just came in with a head full of steam. Someone came in with a head full of steam. That caught Roselle by surprise.
So 6:14 to 5:50. So 24 seconds.
And it definitely was Legret because there he is on the ice. And it's 4-0 Stony Brook. Robert Hyde picking up goal number 5. And now you're going to look out for this Delaware team as the frustration begins to grow, and they finally cracked the score sheets on that by Austin Vecchio.
The timeout is just what the doctor ordered for the Delaware Blue Hens, as it only took them 18 seconds to finally get on the board.
And I didn't want to bring this up to you, Trevor, but it is now 4-1, a 3-goal lead for the Seawolves.
One of those dangerous leads in hockey, but for the Seawolves here, they did have a 4-goal lead, so we do have to count that as the factor here. As the Seawolves faithful unhappy about the circumstances on the ice.
And for Steven Reganato, who played absolutely out of his mind up to that point when it came to the shutout bid. And he'll look to try to keep performing the way he's done so far tonight as the Seawolves lead 4-1.
Delaware goals from number 22, Austin Vecchio. Ice from number 6,
Oh my! Another one bites the dust for Tyler Roselle, and Matt Anastasio, who has been searching for a goal with that mighty slapper, gets it in the most unenthusiastic way. A bank shot with really not much intensity on it.
Well, if you're Delaware now, it's this is a very interesting situation here. You took your timeout, you scored a goal, and then you immediately let one back up.
5-1, third of the year for Anastasio.
We've had basically 4 goals in a minute 1. We'll see if this one gets called back here, if it's going to go for icing. Gonna have a conference here with the referees and linesmen.
And after those 2 goals by Stony Brook, the shots on goal
they're going to call this one an inadvertent icing and a deflection that was missed on the way down.
5-1, shots on goal 30-20. The gap as bigger as it's ever been this evening. Oh, they're giving it to Vernillo. I'll have to take a look at that afterwards, because I could have sworn it was Anastasio, but either way, a goal is a goal. You'll take whoever gets it, you'll take it. Whether it be Anastasio or, as announced by Leon Bassett, Anthony Vernillo, it's one of their third goals regardless. As Delaware tries to charge up here, Reganato, a stonewall, collecting another save, and a giveaway, missing on the response there. As one player that has been awfully quiet this evening, and it seems like the Seawolves haven't figured it out, Leighton Bizadecki, team leader in goals, points in his 14 games played this season. And The
Looks
Seawolves.
like we might have a penalty here.
Yep. Maybe even more, as you see Tim Briley giving it to the officials.
See who it's going to be here. Looks like it's going to be Cade Coughlin.
Indeed, for 2 minutes. And Delaware's frustrating evening gets another.
Well, if you're Delaware, you had a couple looks on the shorthanded situation last time around. So
Delaware's frustrating evening gets another frustrating sequence brewing as Stony Brook beginning their second trip on the man advantage. This Stony Brook Orthopedics Associates power play has started off with Stony Brook not able to get one to go just yet. We go 30 seconds into the power play. And DeZaro sends it forward. Hyde. And we get a whistle.
puck out of play, and we'll bring it deep into the Delaware zone here. And Seawolves here have an opportunity to extend the lead even further. Zell making some adjustments on his pads.
And it's a surprise that there weren't any adjustments to the goaltending for the Blue Hens after that timeout. They're electing to keep Rozelle in.
And if you judge it by the 18 seconds that immediately followed the timeout, I wouldn't have made any changes either.
Chance over the goal for Poirier.
Fortunately for the Blue Hens, what proceeded after those 18 seconds, nothing short of a disaster.
And Poirier trying to create more disaster for the Blue Hens. He's been giving them an awfully hard time all over the ice here tonight. Whether it be his flashy maneuvers when he has the puck on his stick or his ability to provide opportunities for the Seawolves. Anastasio mixing it up down low. And there's Poirier. Nice play again. Poirier, fadeaway try missing there. Haskins, slamming on the brakes. Seawolves down to 17 seconds.
I saw the Michigan look.
Yep.
No Michigan required as it's low slot, and Anastasio knocking it in.
A six-pack for the Seawolves, and you have to wonder if the lacrosse maneuver was actually a fake-out, and it was all by design there to get someone in the right spot, and that being Anastasio.
Wouldn't that be quite the 4D chess maneuver, but I don't know if I'd be reading that far into the tactics, because he had the opportunity in the open corner there to make the attempt, but maybe better was sending it the other way and finding you just threading the needle low slot and poking it in.
An onslaught of scoring for the Seawolves. A power play goal for Stony Brook. 6-1 the score.
Start the goal, scoring number 96, Matthew Anastasio. Assistant number 66, William Copeland.
That time he'll get credited with the goal.
Time to go, 2:29 remaining in the second period.
And this one misses over the head of Reganato. Nice play there by Gott. Or pardon me, this is Warner. Warner putting out all the stops before throwing it on goal, and that one cleared away by the Seawolves. Reganato in the 30 range when it comes to saves tonight. I predict him to have maybe 50 saves. I hope that prediction is correct.
I don't know if they'll get to 50 tonight, but
one can hope.
well, if you're Delaware, if you're getting 50 shots on goal, you're liking your chances, but especially because you're at 24 right now.
Oh, actually, I apologize. I misread. I was looking at the Stony Brook side when it came to shots and goals. So in this case, Roselle, but I don't know if Roselle, if we're going to see him for the third period or not. But as you pointed out, even after those 18 seconds, they keep him in. And a possible breakaway here. Delaware.
Great defensive play there to get the tie up and stop that before it became anything.
This is gonna, nope.
No icing.
Nope.
Stony Brook could have played it.
And Haskins will play it. He'll drive it forward, playing it off the boards, off the glass. Huevos. And this one is cleared away. Back in the neutral zone, Haskins will drop it in deep as it rides around the wall. Some inadvertent contact between one of the Blue Hens running into one of the officials. And there is Stony Brook again, finding themselves in the right spot. Paul Tizarro. And that is, what is it, Trevor, 6 or 7? 6-7?
I think it's 6-7. It's definitely 7 now.
All right, you win, Worlds. You got me to crack. And Paul Tizarro cracks the score sheet tonight for his team high 12th of the year.
And for the Blue Hens, this second period can't end soon enough.
A nightmare would be the best way to describe it, as Infanger and Cormatic having a friendly chat after the face-off draw there. Officials in the way, just in case anything, but doesn't appear it's anything other than friendly.
Smiles on the faces of the players. They leave the ice here. And smiles all on the Seawolves bench and in the stands for Be Positive night. The Seawolves will walk out of the second period with a 7-1 lead. We'll be back in about 15 minutes here to combat the third period. Stay with us here on LISN.
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And we welcome you back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. An avalanche has occurred here at the rinks, courtesy of the Seawolves' offensive onslaughts. 6 goals accounted for against Roselle in those 20 minutes. And there you see the shots on goal as well, 37-26 as we enter the third period of play.
Yeah, an avalanche or an onslaught, pick your favorite descriptive word for what is a almost an insurmountable amount of goals to come back from here, as Stony Brook was piling it on and effectively just throwing signs at the wall and see what's stuck. And by what's stuck, we really mean what went in the net. And for the Seawolves, off-angle shots and good hard-nosed hockey in front of the net was the result. The recipe for multiple goals in the second period for the Seawolves.
And as we saw with the way Matt Anastasio scored, I should say, it's you take every and any type of goal you can get. He came very close to scoring multiple times on a one-time slapper, and he scores in the most, as I said, unfashionable way that you could ever imagine.
And it's a period that kind of had it all. You had penalties. You had a penalty shot. Cormatic unable to convert on the penalty shot, but was able to convert almost minutes later on a triple attempt shot in front of the net, finally getting it behind Roselle.
You have to wonder if that struck a nerve in Cormatic, and whatever he said on the bench afterwards after missing out on that penalty shot, if that gave the Seawolves momentum, whatever he played, however it all played out, something must have been said on the bench.
I can tell you it eats at you.
Didn't say anything.
As we wait for the Seawolves to come out to the ice here in the start of the third period, it goes without saying it was a big crowd here at the rink tonight for B positive night. Lots of kids in the stands here. Great evening of hockey here. Even though, I'm not going to say the Rangers and Islanders are playing tonight, but they're playing tonight.
Well,
they're at the Garden, so Ranger fans know they're not winning tonight, as that game reaches the end of the second, and the Islanders are winning 3-0 now.
And that's not a prediction, folks. That's a spoiler. Using my best Heyman Hustle analogy.
As a Ranger fan, I can tell you for sure it's been brutal to watch them at the Garden this season, and I'm glad I didn't renew the season tickets.
Man, 4 cups in 100 seasons.
Centennial season.
Oh, boy.
I wonder how many games it's going to take them to finally get one at the Garden.
It's one of those type of situations where you wish you were a fan of any other team except yours.
They're not doing too good over there on the island either, though.
No, it's, I would say it's pretty shaky, but it's definitely fared out better for them than the Rangers. Matthew Schaefer, kid is playing unbelievable.
Yeah, he's going to be a gem.
And we got a handful of gems on our hands as the Seawolves return to the ice. And we got the air raid siren blaring right next to us. And as you mentioned, big crowd on hands here tonight. And one could say a big crowd on hands up here.
Absolutely. It's very few games will have the full booth up here, but some of the kids up here in the booth here spinning the air raid siren.
Well, I know when Syracuse comes back to town, things will definitely be full house up here for sure, because they will usually bring their announced crew for the radio team, and always a welcoming environment up here.
Yeah, I think that was we had our crew up here in one half of the booth. We had the Stony Brook radio on the other side of the booth. And then we had the Syracuse guys coming in they were hanging off the side there, running extension cords all over the place here just to get everybody power, but happy to accommodate where we can. Don't have the bandwidth here. If somebody's got to hook up with Verizon and wants to get some fiber in this rink, I know the guy to call.
Trevor's got the most important people on speed dial, folks. Third period about to get going here. 20 more minutes of hockey, and who knows what else is going to happen as the rest of this contest plays out.
The only thing for certain is we're going to play hockey.
Certainly. Seawolves, this win is definitely going to impact them going forward, as the score currently showing a victory by this margin will definitely have the people over in the rankings department voting very favorably.
Well, the good news is we don't have to worry about the coaches poll anymore, because that's over now, as we're multiple weeks into the season. So I get a chance to talk about the computer rankings again, as the ACHA uses a average of 2 computer rankings, one that factors in a maximum goal differential of 1 and one with a maximum goal differential of 7. So if you blow your opponent out by, say 26 goals, I think that was the record, that one ACHA game we saw.
Yes.
That only counts as a 7-1. Sorry, an 7-0 win on the rankings.
But because of this weekend, these two teams played each other, you're looking, well, let's see, right now, in total, Stony Brook's got 13 goals accounted for this whole weekend, and almost 14 there.
But again, the rankings are only care about on a per-game basis. So.
Oh, yes. And there's Guts. Got Guts there. A mouthful from the hit. That time from Wenrick against 77. And how about the debut of RJ Sember tonight? Hasn't cracked the score sheet just yet. We can only imagine it's going to come during one of these games. Heck, it might even come tonight with the way this game has turned out. Regalado sprawled out as this gets cleared away. A loss for the Blue Hens in this type of way is definitely going to do more damage, as William Cormanic delivers the 8th blow of the night to the Blue Hens with his 2nd of the evening.
Making it look easy. Nonchalant wrist shot, skates off easy to the bench like he's been here before.
I'm not going to say it, but something familiar with Cormanic. It's happened before, but I'm not going to say it.
Well, we'll have to see should that tally go up one more.
Oh, yes. 6 goals through now, after this one ends, 11 games played for 76. The captain, a roaring night here on home ice.
Referee taking a pretty serious bump there.
And he is bowled over, but back and looking fine. And there's another save by Reganado. Bam! Collision between Labos and Imfanger. And both of them adjusting their helmets. There's Cormatic getting his name announced by Leon Bassett as the Seawolves have gotten to the 40 shots on goal department here. Or the shots on goal department, they are about to crack 40 against Roselle. Meanwhile, Reganado has accumulated 27 saves on 28 shots faced. And that number continues to gradually increase by the minute. As this gets cleared away by the Seawolves, Legret's going to win that race against Imfanger. DiNapoli, and
there you have it.
Foreshadowing. I guess you can say some foreshadowing on my part as RJ Sember.
To reuse your line from before, that wasn't a prediction, it was a spoiler.
Aha! And RJ Sember continues to spoil the party for Delaware as the Seawolves are now 1 goal away from the double-digit mark, and RJ Sember with a career first tonight. And for the center reach native, that'll definitely be a puck worth keeping. As we get more in the zone.
By number 19, Hudson DiNapoli. And number 48, Nick Legret. Time of the goal, 16:23 remaining in the third period.
And although there have been a great amount of physicality here tonight, nothing more too over the board beyond just that. Everyone keeping and staying within the right boundaries, at least for now. Well, cross maneuver wouldn't go there for Mara, and that came off its moorings. I don't know if that came off naturally or if Briley just said, I am not letting up a cross goal. I'm knocking the net off. You just never know what goes on the minds of these goalies when they're faced with that type of attack.
Should go without saying that Roselle's night was ended with the start of Timothy Briley in net.
Oh, yes. And the Seawolves just garnering all of this momentum after the save was made, ironically, by Roselle on the Cormatic penalty shot, in which Stony Brook has capitalized on 8 unanswered goals. 8. Actually.
Yeah.
Yep, 8.
Well, not 8.
Well, yeah, no, not 8 unanswered goals, but 8 tallies after that. Actually, no, 7 more tallies after that penalty shot. Got to get my math situated first.
Because it was 4-1, and then it was 5 unanswered.
Yep. And Vernillo, who has a goal under his belt, is on the ice once again. And Vernillo trying to hunt it away from the Blue Hens. So obviously not the result they want to have here tonight.
Now, at this point, you want to just try to get out of these games without taking any damage or taking anything that's going to carry over to another game.
Oh, what a play by Vernillo. Put the puck through his legs, but couldn't finish the job there. And then Briley had to hold up. But if there's one thing that you can say that is appropriate to carry over, it's a goal or two. use that to your own advantage when you go
Right.
up against your next opponents, and obviously assess what went wrong and how we can correct that mistake so we can get better results.
Yeah. Then again, I do want to reiterate for Stony Brook here, it's just you want to stay out of the extracurriculars here and go home happy with the big win.
Got a lot of pivotal opponents coming their way, and we talked about on the pregame broadcast the loss on the road and back-to-back against Liberty definitely stunned a nerve for the Seawolves, and here they are. A message-sending performance. Now we get...
And we're going to get a penalty here on Delaware.
And this will be for...
Looks like they're going to get...
They're going to get Ryan Warner regardless.
I think they're going to get him for roughing here.
Survey says.
Cross-checking is the official call here.
And this will be the third Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates power play of the night. And Todd Mittelmeyer getting a further clear explanation from the official about the ruling of that call there against Warner.
They've been letting them play pretty much all night. Like, they've been letting a lot go, but nothing egregious.
Absolutely.
I think at this point this is just game management. You're trying to get the game over with, and you let the players play as much as you can, but there is a line that gets drawn sometimes, and players got to know it.
And you mentioned with the Seawolves, you can't afford to lose any of your guys for the next matchup, which means don't try to get sucked into those extracurriculars.
You play hard, but you play within the rules. So you have nothing further to prove. You've maxed out the objective here.
DeZaro, the objective right now is, well, I can't really say what the objective is right now here. Obviously, you want to just go home with a victory clean as possible. And here's a chance the other way for Cochran. Over the net it goes. As Cochran's chance missing, and Stony Brook gets an opportunity the other way. Riley collecting a save. And there's Nakagawa giving it over to Wenrick. Wenrick firing, just missing the pad of Briley.
Maganato coming out.
40 seconds to go on the power play for Stony Brook. 1 for 2 so far tonight.
I think if there's anything that Stony Brook could want to do here is maybe improve the power play stat a little bit, but
they got everything going for them when it comes to penalty kills, but yes, that is one special teams component you need to be on top of. And it's been a continuing trend. It's been a continuous trend for them the past couple of seasons. They have not been solid on the power play. And there's a miscalculated hit that time against Vernilla by Lowe, as now the Blue Hens pushing forward. Berg drops in, and Haskins not giving him an inch of space as he crowds his area. Dropped to a knee, and he's back up on his feet. Meanwhile, Poirier working with Anastasio, driving it forward. Here's Berg. Berg able to set it up for Moore. Moore has Mahoney on the far side, and he's going to bang it home with ease to make it 9-2. Mahoney, goal number 7.
and for Stony Brook, those are the types of things you don't want to be giving up here at the end of the game here. It's getting soft on defense and letting up odd man rushes and relatively easy goals.
For Tanner Mahoney, that is point number 14 and game number 14. And the Blue Hens, obviously with ways to go, if they were to get back in this contest, we'll use that regardless.
Nothing short of a miracle.
Absolutely. We'll use that regardless as a momentum builder for the next one.
Although we've seen miracles in this building, so I wouldn't rule it out.
But a 7-goal comeback?
I haven't seen one of those. Maybe today's the day.
Chance in front, missing for Mahoney. 10.5 to go. A huge disadvantage right now for the Blue Hens. They also face time on the other side here against them. As Hyde, who has 1 goal under his belt, softly laid it in. As Cooper Smith takes aim. Legret couldn't make something happen there. RJ Sember, good work there. And Legret keeping it in the zone for now. Delaware trying to propel forward. Poirier working some magic once again, able to connect with DiNapoli. Legret, full steam ahead, scores. And the Seawolves make it 10.
That one just slips right through the wickets.
It's double digits for the boys tonight. Just when you thought that there was going to be some type of impossible event occurring for the Blue Hens, it's the Seawolves that just handle business as usual here tonight with goal number 10. And for Legret, it's his first of the year. And he joins the laundry list of players that have picked up a goal tonight for Stony Brook. Bam! DiNapoli. 9.5 to go. And Stony Brook, one more shot away from putting their 50th on board tonight. A mountain of a number when it comes to shots on goal against their opponent. Oh, and Poirier avoided disaster as Riley slipped that one away.
And depending on the scorekeeper's disposition, we might have 50 on that one.
Stronger goals coming number 48, Nathan Brett.
William Cormanic.
Assisted by number 19, Hudson DiNapoli. And number 8, Charles Poirier. Top the goal, 9:44 remaining in the third period.
Feels like deja vu again, in which Cormanic was a key contributor in one of these type of blowout wins for Stony Brook. Did so back 2 seasons ago against the Syracuse Orange. And that chance swallowed up by Reganato. Huevos converged there with Infanger. 8:15 remaining in regulation. And the officials, an admirable job at keeping things very, very cool and calm. And the same can be going for the both teams too, not letting anything go over any boundaries. Just playing
they're
hockey.
playing hard, and for the most part, nothing really out of question here tonight.
And I don't believe it's a case of one team just waving the white flag and surrendering. I think it's just, okay.
Have you talked to a hockey player? They don't. That doesn't exist.
No, absolutely
Play to
not.
the buzzer.
Absolutely. Here's Berg. Berg.
1-on-5.
Wow. And a defenseman, no less, a 1-on-5. And here is a possible 2-on-1 that quickly turned into a missed opportunity for the Seawolves. Fortunately for Anastasio, he's able to get the monkey off his back and collect a goal here tonight. He had actually a multitude of chances overall this evening. And that chance on the 2-on-1 missing for Faiza Deki, who has been awfully quiet. Similar to a couple weeks back in which Stony Brook took a big one against Westchester University. They quieted and shut down their top points getter. And similar trends here tonight. They do it against Delaware's. Chance from the top. And a glove save through traffic there, but play continues in the zone. Another opportunity, another save made by Reganado. We get a malfunction of Reganado's mask, and that had to stop play as he was waving his stick feverishly, looking for a halt on the whistle.
991-9591. Once again, the lane ticket number is 991-9591, which is Joseph Gordon. Joseph, please see the table and they will gladly give you your prize.
And although it's a lopsided affair, no one is leaving the party just yet. Everyone is going to hang around, want to see their players, their favorite names.
The helmet is back in place and we're back playing here.
Daniel Berg. Try to create an opportunity, but that gets nullified, and Stony Brook powering the other way. Nakagawa, or at least attempted to, and he powered through with that hit. You said it best. Doesn't matter what the score is. You play till the end of the game. You play to the final horn. And Nakagawa is exemplifying just that. And there's Hyde. Hyde missing wide. Nakagawa forced up against the boards. A turnover committed by Stony Brook, allowing Delaware to gain the zone. And a chance shot into the glove of Reganado. He holds it up. And
Reganado taking issue with the Delaware players. And Stony Brook defenseman followed him up all the way up to this bench. But Reganado not happy at all about a little bump and run attempt.
Hey, give credit to Stony Brook. They're sticking up for their goaltender, unlike the Leafs. I had to send that jab in there. The Leafs are just, there's no leadership on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Whereas Stony Brook, they got the man leading the way in William Cormanek, and the future is looking bright for the team as well, with names like Cooper Smith and Charles Poirier, who has made quite the impression in his freshman year. And that chance denied by Briley. That was DiNapoli targeting the top corner, and Briley's glove right in the way to deny that. And there is the number we alluded to. Shots on goal, 50 for the Seawolves, 35 for the Blue Hens.
Hand pass washed away there by the Blue Hens.
Delaware try to just work their way freely as we have embarked, or now we are embarking on the final 4.5 minutes of this hockey game. At this rate, if you're a Delaware, you might as well try to get innovative and pull the old lacrosse maneuver, maybe. You've tried everything against Reganado, and although 2 goals have gotten the best of him, not a lot has gone their way. So why not think outside the box? Cormanek breaking free, and Labos couldn't hammer it home. Labos smashed to the ice by 2 jerseys, and that chance sent wide by Valenti. Bam! Now we get something brewing. Tag teaming on Labos during this sequence. But nothing else unfolding as Reganado collecting yet another save.
Reganado is going to walk away with this one with a pretty solid save percentage tonight here, letting up 2 on 36.
There's a little over 3.5 minutes to go. Reganado closing in on the mark that I made a prediction about. He's got 35, actually no, he's got 34 saves.
You're not getting to 50.
Nope, not getting the, wait, did I say 50 or
You
40?
said 50.
Ah.
This I'm pretty sure you did.
I did. But I believe that it was a misidentification. I was looking at Stony Brook shots on goal.
You might get to 40, depending on how Delaware plays the last couple of minutes here. But
and that would be an impressive statistic, something to keep your head high about. Yeah, he's longing for a shutout one of these games, but you take what you can get, and this one is a big victory he'll take for sure.
Or do you got Reganado in fantasy and need the 35 save bonus?
That's true. Malik circling, curling, and it's just easy for the Seawolves right now. They are just making things happen. Great puck work. And the Blue Hens try to beat the icing, which they cannot, as we got 2.5 remaining here in the contest.
Almost was a beat icing there, and that would have been interesting.
And we know for a fact there is one man that can beat those icings. It's the man wearing 91 on Stony Brook. He's got the flash of brilliance to do just that. Mara, one-timer, score! Robert Hyde, head-high slapper, and it's 11 for the Seawolves.
Now 11 on 52 shots. Definitely an evening the Blue Hens they're going to go to the locker room, they're going to get changed, they get their showers done and pretend it never happened.
Nakagawa sent to the ice. 2 more minutes left in this game. We'd like to remind folks that we will be back in 2 weeks' time for our next broadcast when the Seawolves host another pivotal rival, the Syracuse Orange, which will be right here on LI Sports Network. But we still got things to get done here as Reganado, what a close call, as that gets cleared down for icing. (10-2) Stony Brook. A one-man beatdown here tonight. Or I should say a one-team beatdown tonight. Because everyone, and I mean everyone, has contributed in some type of way for the Seawolves. DiNapoli. It's RJ Sember, Florida man. And back the other way come the Blue Hens. We get the score updated to 11-2. As RJ Sember able to track it back onto his hands. Which is his stick is DiNapoli. Things opening up just a bit for the Seawolves. Delaware trying to escape and just run out the clock. So we've reached the pinnacle of the hockey game. And some nifty footwork being done by Vernillo. Vernillo entangled there. Sets it back to the point. Valenti trying to pulled the rabbit out of the hat, and he was drawing a good ovation from his team from the bench, even from some of the coaching staff up here. Former players Andrew Mancini, as
that one slides out front.
That one
dangerous territory.
That one caught, I believe, someone up high. He's fine, as indication from that chance. Played in the corner. 4 seconds to go. And that does it. The Stony Brook Seawolves sweep the home and home over the Delaware Blue Hens. 6-3 last night, an 11-2 beat down tonight here on the island. And we're gonna pack things up here as the Seawolves and Blue Hens meet at center ice, as the fierce competition dissolves into a wonderful display of sportsmanship, positive pleasantries, handshakes on a very, very, very special night. A great cause for the Be Positive Foundation, and both of these teams played a great part in it. The jerseys worn by the Blue Hens, the Seawolves, and their special guest here tonight, the ceremonial puck drop. Just a great cause, and everything all packed up into one, capped off with a big victory for head coach Chris Garofalo and his squad. Steven Regagnado picking up a big victory. Seawolves will salute their fans one last time before everyone gets set and gets going, as we will get going too before we return for our next broadcast against the Syracuse Orange, and that will happen in 2 weeks' time. But for now, we will pack things up for all of us here at Stony Brook Seawolves Hockey on LI Sports Network. This is Mike Calandra, Trevor Magnani saying so long, good night, and we will see you for the next game right here at the rinks.